Uh, the lie is dead. And I'd like to introduce our speaker this morning. Our speaker this morning is Thomas P. from Baltimore. I'm an addict. My name's Thomas. I want to thank God for allowing me to be here, and some friends that have been with me every step of the way, through low times, high times, and just plain times. And that's what that has been for me, is to know that someone somewhere believe in me and want to help me. Right? So the topic is the lie is dead, and brother, that's right, brother asked me in the hallway. I don't know whether he was serious or not. He asked me, well, what lie they was talking about? So we coming out of, we do recover. Now that we know the time has come, when the tired old lie, once an addict, always an addict, will no longer be tolerated either by society or by the addict himself. Right? So let me just touch on, I'm going to have to give you my qualification so that you know, because the first part of that says about society. You know what I mean? You know, because I could deal with the judgment and the criticism of society. Right? But what got me into Narcotics Anonymous, I could no longer accept self-criticism. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna never be nothing. I can accept that from other folks, but it got to a point I couldn't accept that from me no more. You know what I mean? That was sharing with a brother. I had to understand when I came to Narcotics Anonymous that one thing about I've learned to be clear, even the day of my recovery, I got to be tired of doing something the Lord. I learned how to do something new. Right? Because if I do it for you, when the compulsion or obsession to do it again, I'll fall short. You know what I mean? So I'm just talking about with Thomas. He asked me to come and share about the lies dead, right? And I want to clarify something that I don't really know what you expect me to give, but my experience, strength, and hope. Because all I am is just like the addict that's sitting in your seat, right? I'm coming here seeking relief. I'm coming here seeking a method how to survive my emotions, right? And I'm learning how to get up when I fall down. So let's not make no quick decisions about who I am, right? I'm you, right? So let's talk about the guy that you had to deal with in the beginning. He didn't come in here with a dungaree set on, right? This brother didn't come in here with hair. I said I had 2 waves around in my hair, right? This brother didn't come in here with any friends or anybody that won't even listen to him. Right? Could leave the vicious cycle of Smallwood and Vine. You know my story? I was playing in the asphalt with a little stick. You know what I mean? So we just gonna take the real evidence of change. Thomas P. is in Detroit, Michigan. You know what I mean? I ain't on Smallwood and Vine. That's on Baltimore, Maryland. I'm in Detroit, Michigan by way of an airplane. You know what I mean? I didn't say airplane glue. So we talking about the lie being dead. Okay, let's go back to the book. It says, well, who's an addict? Come on. We want to know who is it saying if the lie is dead, once an addict, always an addict, well, who's an addict? Well, I will keep it simple. It says here, a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. Now, even though I know that staying clean means much more than not using, right? In order to stay clean of the drug, I got to learn how to live a new way of life. I got to respond to things a little differently. I have to change. You know what I mean? I have to change because what happens is, in order for the people that's looking at us to see that the lie is dead, we just can't tell them it's dead. We got to show them it's dead in our mannerism and our posture. in our response, and when we was wrong, properly admit it. You know what I mean? We gotta give our message in what we do. We gotta do that. Because, even here, look, let me see what even where another addict will say. They say, even addict said it could not be done the way we had planned it. Another addict said that. Didn't believe that a dope fiend with a set of tools with no number can sit it down and don't pick it up. Right? Didn't believe that a man with low self-esteem will have high self-esteem one day. Didn't know that one day that he will not walk with his head down. Will stand up 90 degrees perpendicular to a God of his understanding, what was introduced to him by you. So look, if you don't understand my message, it came from you. That's all I want to say, right? So let's go right back to the guy playing in the asphalt with a little stick, right? Because I want to make sure I have to go all the way back there. Not, if you can get some identification, it's cool, but I'm doing this for me. They say when the day you forget where you came from, the same day you lose the ability to move on. So I want to go back to the curb. I want to go back to digging tops out of the asphalt. I want to go back to one hoping that somebody somewhere will come past and have a little glimpse of hope. Just give me 50 cents. You know what I mean? All right, I'll take the quarter. Didn't have no drug or chores. Anything that can change the way he felt with the shame and the guilt of his demonstration was all right with him. Listen to the guy that when his family walked past wouldn't speak to him. Let's talk about the guy that when his kids walked past, they say, look, what are you going to do, Daddy? Huh? We're talking about a guy that didn't have no purpose, no aim, or no hope. We're talking about a guy that had told, this is the lie I'm saying is dead. Not the lie that they said about me was dead. That's their opinion of me. Their opinion of me is none of my business. My opinion of me is what I want to say is dead. I have a purpose and an aim today. I'm not dusty today. And I'm talking about a physical dust. I'm not talking about the exterior. Right? I'm talking about a dust we once had a substance and once had a purpose. Now you just move along. Thomas stand for something. You know what I mean? The kids in my neighborhood, same neighborhood I fell in, call me Mr. Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I went to my kids' school and I took them out for prayer. My son was talking to his little dusty buddy. He said, well, who's that man? He's my daddy. And I felt that. So when do you get out of a term when you say the lie's dead? I'm free. You got to understand, if you can say that word and feel it deep inside here, I'm free. You understand what I'm saying, Harold? I ain't got to go to the store for nobody I don't want to, and if your joke ain't funny, I ain't going to laugh. Hey, Mike, they say the lie's dead. We do recover. I was in Detroit not quite a year ago. Very uncheerful brother. But I came here because I knew somebody here believed in me. He said, it's going to be all right. Couldn't see it's getting all right. Sure as hell couldn't feel it was getting all right, but I believed in a brother that said it will be all right. Couldn't make a direct contact with my God. So what I did, because he believed in me, I kind of locked on and used his. So I came here on the flight. I came here, I was 163 pounds and a half. 163 pounds and a half. But I didn't work in it, I worked through it. I came in here and I did what y'all told me to do, share your painful experience. Use your experience and put it in an index, because one day somebody else going to need your information on your experience. Don't worry about the people that judge. Those that judge don't matter, and those that matter don't judge. Yeah. Look what happens when you deal with the storm straight up. This is not quite a year yet. This stuff works pretty good, Mike. I'm 185 pounds and a half, and half of that is self-esteem. That's right. I feel it is quite unfortunate, but it's time. Okay, what is that? They say we have proved that this works. But in our steps, one of the steps says that it could. You know what I mean? I'm going to touch it. What's that? And I know it's the second step. It said it could. You know what I mean? So what the hell? You said the promise is freedom. Why did it say it could? Right? Because this is just Thomas. Dophinism. Right? Because what happens is, once I start feeling good about myself again, once I start taking what you give me and it starts to work in my life, what is the first step says? Now that once I get my life in order, can I handle my usage again? Right? Now this was last year. It's evident that it wasn't drugs, but it was usage involved. You know what I'm saying? It's our disease is much more than drugs. Right? But I looked at that. So what I had to do, it worked with me in the beginning. I had to keep working it while I felt better. Because what happened, that's why I told you that most times when I go through a painful experience, I stay stopped. Because when the feeling come back of doing it again, I remember the pain. No longer want to punk out for a short-term pleasurable event for a long-time consequence. Don't want to do that today. I almost felt guilty coming in here today. I almost felt guilty. Because, you know, for a while here, I've been always working through something. And I didn't have no painful experience to exploit. You know what I'm saying? Please understand what I say. I'm not apologizing for this. This ain't arrogance and self-esteem. I worked hard for this. There was a lot of crying involved. There was a lot of footwork involved. There was a lot of praying involved. There was a lot of saying that it ain't me, it's y'all that helped me. A lot of that involved. So they said this is a program, not of talking, but a program of results. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, I was a talking young fellow on the mailbox. You know what I mean? I could do that very well. So this is something that I want to touch on. I heard this message somewhat, you know, early in my recovery. My sponsor had to, you know, we used to go to his house and listen to tape. And it took last year's experience for me to understand, to really understand this message. That's why when we go to meetings, and even if somebody's sharing something that we really don't like, listen to it. Yeah. Just go ahead and listen to it. As long as you're in between the opening prayer and the closing prayer, it's going to serve its purpose. Yeah. Eliminate your personality, slog it, and wait inside till the day comes and you'll be able to use it. So the message, this is a message. He said that I don't want to become a mailman. Because the mailman, in my perspective as a young guy, always delivered the mail and made my family cry. People who brought other people's messages and didn't have nothing internally to connect or prove the message made other people cry. Stay with me now. All right, now look, here we come. He said he didn't want to be a policeman. Being a young guy in his neighborhood, he seen that the policemen had to make judgment calls. And a lot of times they judge people wrongly. And because they judge people wrongly, he's seen as an adolescent, some of these people never recruit. So he didn't want to become a policeman because he didn't want to judge nobody. All right. He said he didn't want to become a fireman because he knew with the content. This is a catch. You know, as a drug addict, I wasn't concerned about the content or the ingredients. But he said, wait a minute, he said, because he knew some of the content and some of the fires, these fires not always supposed to be put out, spiritually let them burn out. So I stopped trying to, I stopped trying to be everything everybody wanted me to be. All right? I started understanding that it ain't so important what you say to me, it's how I respond to what you say to me. Hang on one. What the hell do you expect when you go to a football game? You expect people falling down and getting up. That's the norm. It's abnormal to go to a football game and don't nobody fall. Something's wrong with that. So, all right, look. So it's abnormal. It's abnormal for me to stay clean. It's abnormal for me to respond to things always the NA way. Don't take too much work to be a liar, a thief, a cheating, a murderer again. You know what I'm saying? You want to know why the lie's dead because I focused on certain things at certain times. I focused on that I have a physical and mental and spiritual disease that will work through people, places, and things. When you listen to a foolish person, make sure you understand that it's probably some foolishness they're going to speak about. All right, let me stop that because I want to thank Detroit for calling me down here, hey, Harold, and taking an NA risk. Because what happens is, you assume. Now, I'm an addict. We all got that clear, right? We got that clear? We got that clear. I'm an addict, but a lot of times we will assume that the person that's standing up front is the answer. You get upset and you say you're disappointed when he stand up front and give you a problem. Well, let me straighten something out today. I don't stand up here to share and entertain you. I stand up here to share and to free me of my own sick thinking. I told Ronnie, sometimes I get the feeling kind of bad, man, for people inviting me to do certain things. Ronnie was talking about two powers in our life that's greater than us. One is God and one is our disease. So, sometimes I got to really sit down. Is it this is God or is this my disease? They say it's a real simple terminology that if it's good as God, it's bad as you. You know what I mean? So that's how I got to keep it straight now. Okay? So what's happening here? I got to realize, I want you to know that I am a result of keep coming back. I am a result of falling down, getting up, crying, phone bills, not knowing what this going to get done. But it says sometimes you'll get a bill on Monday. Sometimes you get a bill on Monday and you got to hold on to whatever you got. And some kind of way on Thursday or Friday, the bill gets paid. You know what I mean? Even then you should know that God gives us some kind of recognition and we just need to know we ain't doing this for us. So sometimes when you don't know or understand that, being that you haven't utilized your higher power, you'll start questioning mine. Well, here we go. So we talked about what is your credentials on the lies dead? What gives you the right? What gives you the proof that you could stand in Detroit, Michigan, and say that the lie's dead? I said I'm from Smallwood and Vine. Did you understand? Smallwood and Vine, Baltimore, Maryland, no change, no hope, no purpose, no aim. Nobody that says, I love you. You know what I mean? You ever been, and even in your mother's house, my mother's house, I was living in somebody's house and still felt homeless. You ever been like that where I had to wait for them to go to bed? You know what I mean? They asked me 50 times, are you hungry? They already knew I ain't had nothing. And I say, I'm all right. Well, as soon as the last light went off. You know what I mean? And I had to check this behavior even in recovery because at 12, I want to get active. I want to be a snake, be crooked and call it straight. So I get up at 12 o'clock and I ease downstairs. This woman, this is my mother's house, so she's openly offered me food, but it wasn't like I was stealing it. It wasn't the same kind of food. Some kind of way shame and guilt will allow you to do wrong and call it right. You know what I mean? And if you want to kill a lie, we got to address the shame and the guilt. What happens is you keep piling it up. being what people want you to be, then from their expectations, you derive and come up with your own expectation of yourself. Somewhere between that transition, we done moved God out the way. Right? God done been out the way now. Now, don't forget what I said about the football game. Now, just like the football game, when the man, he's expected, you expect to see somebody falling down. You expected the ball being thrown and being missed. These are the expected things. But without a higher power, our expectations get so high, we don't expect nothing but perfection. Dangerous substance. Dangerous thought. Because I've had it. I've had it. And I would try to be everything you want me to be. In some kind of way, when I went home, the truth was waiting. You know what I mean? I call it the pull talk. You can share what you want to share. You can even do what you want to do. But when you go home by yourself, that's why a lot of us don't want to go home by ourselves. We want to take somebody, anybody, everybody home, but we know what's waiting. All right, so we come home now. Now, you've been a grateful recovering addict all day long. You know what I mean? All right. You've been sharing from the Most High. Then you hear a voice come out of the puller. I'll use a rotten one. We got to start doing something about that. And start saying statements to rob you of your self-esteem. You know what I mean? You know, we say, well, I don't know what to work on. I know what to work on. If I ain't worked on it yet because I'm afraid. I'm still trying to rationalize and justify the most greatest of nonsense. Once again, I started blaming people, places, and things for my condition. You know what I'm saying? So the pillow talks. Right? It's got one of them voices where it just don't let you go to sleep until it's finished. Right? So then you get all bogged down with the voice. Then you got an opportunity. I'm tired. If I'm tired of feeling like that, I got to do something. What are you going to do today? I'm going to make it proud. Say, why haven't you been done it? Because I wasn't ready. Sometimes you got to understand what it said. First step was one of them heavy steps, man, where do I make adjustments and work on my own manageability? That's a statement we don't like to make. Yeah, I admit it. We admitted we was powerless over our disease, and our lives have become unmanageable. Now, as an addict, because I've been in this condition for quite some time, right? Do I continue to make adjustments for this unmanageability, or do I do something about it? Because if I keep making adjustments from this unmanageability, I will become powerless on my addiction again. One shape, form, or fashion, but it all linked back to the lie. It all linked. You can say what you want to say. Using always been an option. How would you seek relief? I sponsored his brother. He was in a lot of turmoil, going through a lot of things and taking on all these responsibilities, like me. And he came to me and he wondered, what am I going to do? You better find somewhere, somehow to relax. You better take off the gold and the diamond and the alligators and the gas, put back on your ruffled sweatsuit and get on the front row and like being loved. He looked at me like I was crazy. He didn't do it right away, though. 2 days later, he was sitting on the front row. He wasn't smiling, one of them whole hum smiles. You know, you smile and people know you're smiling. He was in that stage, I'm going to fake it till I make it. Right? Because I know a lot of times I got to talk this sometimes before I'm able to walk it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to talk. Sometimes you got to get it up here. Play with it. Keep telling yourself, I can do it. I can do this. I can do what they tell me to do. I can go where they want me to go. I can do this. I can do this. And one day when the pain gets great, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work on it here before it get here. Man, Some days I'm going to do some things that surprise you. Some days I'm going to do some things that surprise me. What is a lie? I'm doing things. Damn it, I'm not on the curb today. Understand that the posture of sitting in the curb for 16 years to the posture of man standing up, there's some difficult times. Being that you were sitting down longer than you were standing up. You know what I mean? People don't understand why we are doing the abnormal thing. Fellas say, my mother said I'm not doing nothing but what I'm supposed to do. Your mother an addict? Do your mother know how hard it is to set down the tools with no numbers? Do your mother know how hard it is to stop stealing? Do your mother know how hard to stop lying? Have your mother recognized the beast in you? All right, good time, and we're going to close. Look, check this out. I'm not ordinary. No, I'm not. This is not ordinary. I'm talking about this Thomas' definition of an addict. There's something extraordinary about a man waking up every morning with nothing. Get in the car, put top, clean the asphalt, knowing that sooner or later that day he's going to get something. Normal people can't do that. Right? So as an addict, I know I'm abnormal. I'm extraordinary. Right? So what? So if I'm extraordinary, I'm in the room of Narcotics Anonymous being taught how to do ordinary things. You know what I'm saying? Being taught how to do ordinary things, like get a job. Huh? And keeping it. Right? Knowing even in friendship, even with conflict, try to be as honest as you can. Right? Because if you're still here, and even with your dishonesty, that means you're still in the process. Can't be judged. What happened to a liar when he stopped lying? He's just like us. Right? So what happens is, I've learned through in recovery, you got to understand, even the things I say today, next year be different. Right? I'm talking about a man that's clocking personal experiences. Right? You know, I went through the stuff before. I did it up on intellect. Right? And I'm not sorry I did that. I had to do something. I had to do something to stop me from looking at you and your problems and look at myself and know that I got more problems I need. I needed to do something. But the explanation for the steps and the reason why they was there didn't become real clear until I fell into a personal, painful experience. You know what I mean? Now you know why it's best to turn it over. Yeah. You don't have to now. You can keep it and become powerless over your addiction again. You know what I mean? This is real simple stuff here. Right? And I don't know how the hell I tried to complicate it. Even the book I got is written in the 3rd grade level. You know what I mean? And you can't take any credit for this. I'm only giving you what somebody gave me. And that is, man, that any addict can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. You know what I mean? You got to feel, I'm talking about being free. You ever go to your bed at night and you pull your cover back and you put your feet and rub your feet up on the cold sheet? Huh? Little small stuff like that. We talked about feeling good about where you're at and what you're doing. You know what I mean? You got to feel good about yourself. Because what happens is you start clocking the shame and guilt again. You ain't going to stay here too much longer. I learned the only thing that I feel is valuable in my life is only valuable to me. Can't put nothing in between me and y'all. Nothing. My mother didn't make me a grateful recovering addict. It ain't made me a grateful son. You know what I'm saying? I got these people. We talking about some stuff now, Jack. I'm gonna tell you, it ain't important that I do some things to impress you. That ain't what it's about. Blessed when I remember my original reason of wanting to get clean. Can you remember back to your last day of use and asking God, if you just help me this time? You know what I mean? Look, I don't do anything you ask me to do. Anything. I mean, if you want me to stand in the corner on my head, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking, check this out. And I don't want to get clean for a car. And that day I didn't want to get clean for no woman. I didn't want to get clean for gold or clothes. I want to get clean because I'm tired of hurting and feeling bad about me. The original prayer. I want to make people that's in my life feel that I'm responsible and can be a productive member of society, man. I wanted to do that. I want to attend PTA meetings. You know what I mean? Little small, normal stuff. I wanted my father to speak to me. You know what I mean? That's why I got clean originally. So I got to remember that. Because what happens is, if I don't keep my eye on the prize, right? I'll forget about I was a man hit in the head, laid on the side of the road, bleeding from ignorance about suffering God. I remember that. Don't want to feel like that again. So look, they say the lie's dead. While we're standing, Thomas P. is standing in Detroit, Michigan. Look, the black sweatpants, too small, ain't on him. Right? Some say he's got a glow. Look, if this one of them glows that come outside of a little bit of Ronnie's grease. Look, look. Look, check this out. This is a glow. That symbolizes the repair like a clock. You got a broken clock. How you fix a broken clock? You don't fix it from the surface. Huh? You got to take off the face. Huh? You got to take off the face. Find out what makes it tick. Then once you find out what makes it tick, if you wanted to tick again, go get a ticker that know how to fix it. Hey, I think I better look at you have, oh, God. All right, here we go. Here we go. I want to share, because some people sometimes get uncomfortable when I say God. I want to share that, and I'm not bringing in a tradition. No, look, I want to show you how I got my understanding of God. Here's a man coming off the curve, didn't believe in nothing he didn't feel, see, or touch. Right? But whipped. I'm talking about whipped. You know what I mean? I had an interview. My interviewer trying to get him treatment and say, them days you had an interview. Why you want to come in here? I'm saying, because I'm tired. Wasn't a whole lot of depth. You know, some answers to real important questions are real simple. I'm tired. You know what I mean? So look, here we go. I'm in Narcotics Anonymous now with no God, and y'all talking about God. And what happened is I seen the result of y'all believing in y'all God. All right? So what I did, I believed in y'all. And that worked. I believe in y'all. For believing in y'all and y'all God, one day, my sponsor told me, so let's try it. For 3 days, you pray, and you go to work, and you go to meeting, and you pray, and let's see what happened at the end of that day. At the end of those days, measure the results at the end of those days amongst the results of the days that you didn't pray. That's all you got to do. And if you don't like it, don't do it no more. So I did that. I did it, and if there's some kind of way, whatever happened, it wasn't so much I totally believed in this God, because they say our faith rose in this program. Well, I wasn't ready for no baptism. But what happened is, I used to talk to myself. My sponsor said it's going to be all right. He said if I pray, go to work and go to a meeting, I was going to be all right. To anything that transpired in the course of that day, I can handle it. And there's no reason, no excuse, even if the fear seems to be overwhelming to you. Sometimes on the bus, he should put little literature in my pocket to change my thought process. I'd wait on the bus, and I'd think about something crazy, and I'd read the literature. Nothing. I didn't really do it to get anything out of it. I did it to change my thoughts I was having in my head. I was crazy now. It wasn't. Something's wrong with a brother sitting in the curb every day. But what happened is, when I mounted up the results, and I stopped questioning it, they said we can use this power long before we understand it. So what I started doing, I started feeling a little good about myself. Right? Now check this out. Here's the hit. Now people don't understand what I said, but this is what happens after a while. You know, when the recovery gets real. Right? So you got this watered down version of God. What happened is a painful experience. What did the book say? It will back you up in a corner where you believe using is the only way out. So what happens is you go to your friends, because that's where you usually go to. And they really want to help you. Really want to help you. But when it's time to take the cut off of God, can't nobody do it but you. We have got you to point B. Huh? You got to come to point C. Right? They said, what in the hell do you mean you got to take the cut off of God? Come on now. We never dealt with cut. Huh? If I want to make my dope or coke better, I got to work on trying to get the cut off of it. Right? Right? Then once you take the cut off it, you'll get the full potential of what it has to offer. Right? But look, check this out. The 3rd and 11th step says that he ain't running it all the time. Sometimes when it gets sick, you are. And what happens is you got to understand, once you put a cut on something and you take it off, you're held accountable from that point on. It's all right when you don't know. But when we know, you know. Hey, look, and it said when you start, you can't believe that the lies lay. When you know, you know. Right? You know, times where you got to understand, even sleep, you got to earn it. You got to earn sleep. I've learned being in this program after my first one was due to God's grace. That on me. That's everything else is on me. You got to earn. Don't nobody owe Thomas nothing. Nothing. They told me to get with the winners when I came here. I took an ass whooping getting with them, but thank God I got with them. Some kind of way, I'm just attracted to people on the back of the bus. You know what I'm saying? I am, man. There ain't no difference. I just, I like stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to climb in and call it wrong, do it wrong and call it right. Right? Then, since being a while, we use the intellect that y'all taught me. Well, I try to turn it over. You know what I'm saying? But for the grace of God, a day at a time, it's going to get better. This fellowship is about doing something. Right? It's time to do something, Thomas. You have identified the problem, and so long as you can live in it, it's yours. Believe that every member of this Narcotics Anonymous program, once you identify the problem, live in the solution, you have the ability to change any condition that you're in. You can. Does that mean I'm not your problem? Does that mean that I can't keep you up at night hating me? Does that mean that my defective character shouldn't send you on a flight? Does that mean that you still have an inability to accept your personal responsibility? Huh? I better stop, Leroy. See, look. Why in the hell you wound up in Narcotics Anonymous? I was tired of trying to change reality as Thomas said. I needed some help dealing with living life on life terms. I needed somebody to walk with me and talk to me and let me know it's going to be all right. You just don't be with me when I done hit the number. Be with me when I'm in my hole, crying, scratching, trying to get out. If you got something to give me patience and tolerance and a listening ear. Anything about that, it's got to be experience. I'm doing the best I can in living in the process of recovery. Right? So I keep coming. I came to meetings crying. I came to meetings sharing about my brother, my grandmother's death, my uncle's death, relationships. I just say there's no reason I found this to you. No reason. I said, you sure? Because I just found my brother dead. You sure? They said, you know what? If you want to stay in the solution, check out why your brother died. It might have been a space where I was almost complacent, where either my own relapse had to be the job or somebody else's. So the literature says, some have to die, so some can live. Right? So some days I'm doing this for him. Some days I'm doing this for Ronnie. Some days I'm doing this for Ron because the condition I'm in keep telling me you ain't shit, man. You know what I mean? With over 6 years, you still ain't shit, man. Can you accept the reality the way it is? When you're broke, can you say you're broke? When you're lonely, can you say you're lonely instead of being horny? Huh? Can you say that? We talking about, can you come and share your painful experience? No, if you ain't had one, just be patient because be patient. Be patient. Look. All through our basic text. All through our basic text predicts a storm. Right? It's not going to come when you want it to come. Being that it's the cunning, baffling, and insidious, it's going to get you when you think you have arrived. Huh? It will come to you in the middle of the night. It will whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Right? So when you have the ability to come here, even with over 6 years, raise your hand. Talk about it. Because all I'm here for, I'm seeking relief from me. And whenever I share that I need relief from you, it's just a camouflage. It's a camouflage. I understand about the norm. It's normal to come in Narcotics Anonymous and have personality conflict, being that we got messed up personalities in the beginning. We're talking about the shit that's in the rooms. Let's talk about the shit that we bring. Huh? There we go. So they say this is a God-sent program. Right? There's going to come a storm that all is not right. Better get right. And Thomas is not going to be there in the judgment day. He's not going to be in the judgment day. We're talking about when it starts getting real. Right? No longer the pain of a newcomer. The pain because you know it's the truth. You know that if you don't get in here and share the truth about you, the falsehood of your behavior is going to have to send you out. I had a compulsion to use over a year, not quite a year ago. It wasn't for me to get high. I was afraid I was going to go crazy. You know what I mean? Immediately, I knew of a way to get rid of that pain, even if it was on a short-term basis. Right? But some kind of way, I was watching the guy with the wine, right? I was standing in my door, and it seems to be a fresh bottle. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, the bag was neatly creased. All right. So and it was two people, they was drinking. It looked like they had a little something, you know, that doogie. Right? So they was passing it on, back and forth. And I was standing in the door in my shit. You know, when you get in yours, when it's been there for so long because you haven't accepted it and you're not ready to surrender, it's been there for so long you think it's never going to leave. I'm talking about something that you only get relief from 2 to 3 hours at night in your sleep. Right? So look, they was passing it back and forth and they was excited. Right? And I looked at them, I looked at their excitement. That's why I know this program has got to stay on attraction rather than promotion. Show me, man. Show me that you did that and you can walk through it. Now give me the courage where I can walk through it too. Right? So look, I looked at their excitement and I left my shit and I started focusing on their excitement. They was talking it and I was listening. They seemed, look, check this out. They seemed to found an answer for their addiction. Check this out. And I understand where we are solving our problems and we can solve them most. That's their solution. But when I seen it wasn't mine when it got to the last one. They put the top back on the bottom. They folded the bag. Both of them walked to the basket. And when they dropped that bottle in the bag, they looked at each other as if to say, what are we going to do now, man? We talked about, the book talked about in desperation. What are we going to do now? We can't go back to where we've been. A good dope fiend burned his bridges. What are we going to do now? In my condition, my addiction has been manifested in my action and in my appearance. I can't lie no more. I can't go in no people's stores with the way I'm looking and try to steal and act like I ain't trying to steal. Borrowing money is out the question. I owe everybody twice. Look, check this out. So what I did is I seen that desperate look in them and it shattered all that crazy relief feeling I seen in me, and I went on and said, I'm going to a meeting. They said it was sad. They said, I'm going to close the meeting. They said that if you pray, go to the meeting and don't pick up. It was a long time. I think it was up Detroit where I understood that last year. It was up Detroit. I really understood that statement. Because, they said pray, go to the meeting, don't pick up. I've been in my, I'm a fucking intellect. I'm thinking there, if I done prayed and got in a humbling posture and prayed to Almighty God, and if I come to a meeting, why would they make that don't pick up statement last? But I was in this painful condition. I told you sometimes I got to talk to myself until I would get to move my bones and do what I need to do for me. I was laying in the bed and I laid there long enough to get sick. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much a physical sickness, it was one due to a mental sickness. You ever lay in the bed with your shit a little bit too long? Yeah. So here I am laying in there mentally, physically, and spiritually sick. I'm thinking about an easy way out. And I started talking to me. I don't know if it was my intellect, I don't know if it was God, but I started talking to me. Guess what I was saying? Pray, Thomas, go to the meeting, don't pick up. Come on, Thomas, pray, man. You ever got in that condition where you know if you get in that posture, you're going to feel better? The hard part is getting there. Huh? Come on, now. Come on. You can pray, man. Come on, get in your knees. Come on, pray, Thomas. Go to a meeting, man. Don't pick up. Y'all ever been there? Come on, you know if you pray, you're going to feel better. Come on. You have proved it. Through other people's experiences, some of yours, you've been in long enough, but you got to move that image, that ego. Stop being self-reliant, self-sufficient. Get in a humbling posture and say, well, whoever it is, it ain't me. I need you for salvation. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm in Detroit. I was at 163 pounds of confused man. I held on to a brother, Mike T. I said, if you get me there, Mike, I'll be all right. Even when I shared, he had to stand behind me. I was borrowing his God. They said if it worked for him, it'll work for me. So what is the lies dead? Look, you ain't never got to stay in the condition that you in unless you want to. May it be the cause and the condition, due from the drive, due from the relationship, due from the job, any endeavor that you're in, you can change it, man. You can change it. You don't have to keep on putting up with the put-up that you've been putting up with. I'm going to leave you with this. You are an extraordinary group of people. You're special. Tell yourself your story real slow this time. Take out all the bull crap and you'll see the part in your story where you should be dead, man. Tell your story to where it hurts. Tell it where it hurts. Tell it. Get down and tell some of the shit that you haven't told yet. Then you'll realize that this is a dream even compared to last week. I told him I was trying to talk myself out of being here for a whole week. And each time something came up that made it easy. Each time. So I said, God is the greatest. I said that God is the greatest and that my job is not to seek recognition, but to stay in his praise. I said that my message is not only for the newcomer, but it's for me too. That if anything, anybody got anything out of this message, so be it and thank God. But if you hadn't, that means that you wasn't listening close to when the brother was reading the literature in the beginning of the meeting. That's the message that the group predicts and promises you. The one that they read the literature. So when you go to a meeting and they read the literature and you walking around drinking coffee, feeling on each other, you have missed the message, man. I'm having fun. Look, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come here and just be who I am. I've learned through painful experiences that if somebody in your life that you meet, and if you can't love that brother or that sister just the way they are, don't mess with them. Only God changes people. And only God chooses the vessel he wants to work with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so we got to understand, man, that look, I better be grateful and fortunate I got a seat in Narcotics Anonymous. My buddy Roy, guy that first have to be sponsored out of the beginning, he always used to keep my program simple. You got to remember, Mo, we throw things. It ain't easy. We're doing the best we can do. And what happens is you got to learn how to look through the person that's going through shit, talking vindictive and evilness, look past that person, past him to the little boy, the little girl that's hurting inside. Got to look at that. Because if you're holding on to it too long, what the book says about anger and resentment. Huh? We got to learn when it's time to let something go because we don't want to go with it. So today I've been allowed by God and Narcotics Anonymous to stand in front of you and give a message. To say if you don't have that ability, one day, because the disease that jails, institutions, and death, you may have to visit Baltimore and accept my message laying down. So look, the day is I'm grateful. I'm grateful there's a God working in me and there's a God working in you because the messenger is only 50% of the message. Huh? Let me clarify. I'm only 50% of the message. The listener is the other 50%. So as God fixed my lips, may he fix your ears. You know what I'm saying? Man, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to share.